I'm Tiffany Stead, and this is Amelia Hartley. In this video, you will learn how to perform a wheelie, as well as several different applications of the wheelie that will be important when navigating the community. Please remember to keep safety as the #1 priority when practicing these skills. Amelia will now discuss and demonstrate.
Once you begin to get comfortable getting into a wheelie and starting to hold it, there's a progression of skills that you can do and work on to keep progressing your comfort in a wheelie and your ability to use it in different environments. I'm going to now talk through a couple of these skills that you can work on. The first thing is just holding the wheelie in place. This can be helpful for relieving pressure, but also it's just helpful to get better at doing the wheelie and feeling comfortable at the different adjustments you can make. To do this, you'll pop your wheelie and go back just as you've been doing. Then you can work on seeing how high you can get your anti-tippers, which you can balance by leaning forward, seeing if you can hold it while your back is against your backrest and while you lean forward. You can also practice moving your hands around on your push rims to see if you can continue to balance while doing that. I often like to challenge myself, especially when I was learning a wheelie, to hold it for as long as possible and see if I can beat my time or see how high I can get my caster wheels off the ground or different metrics so that you can make a little competition with yourself to have fun while practicing. However, it's important to note that safety is always most important. So when you're practicing this until you are very comfortable with it, you should still have your spotter behind you and be utilizing a spotter strap or other spotting techniques to make sure that you do not get injured. The last skill in our wheelie progression is a wheelie pop-up. This is actually a very useful skill for navigating the community and is one that leads into overcoming bigger obstacles like sidewalk curbs. In the wheelie pop-up, you're going to be moving forward as you would normally, pushing your wheelchair with all your wheels on the ground. Then, as you move forward, you're going to give a small push downwards on your wheels to pop up into a wheelie just temporarily and fall down your caster wheels again. This allows your caster wheels to go over a small obstacle that may be in front of you, like a sidewalk crack, and you to continue going afterwards. The next skill is moving in a wheelie. This may be helpful when you're going down ramps, but it's also just another good thing to practice to get you more comfortable in the wheelie and just in general maneuvering your wheelchair. It's going to look pretty similar to the wheelie at first. You just get up into it and make sure you find your balance point before you try moving. Then you're just going to push forward on your push rims and see if you can keep that balance. Again, it is a bit tricky at times and will be a little different for each person, but you can try adjusting your core and how far you lean forward to try to help you if you're having trouble balancing. The other part of moving in a wheelie is moving backwards. This is even more tricky because you're pulling back on the wheel, which tends to force your caster wheels down. So I recommend you start out with small pushes to see if you can get it going, and then you can progress to going faster. The next wheelie skill that you can practice is turning in a wheelie. Similar to when we discussed turning in your wheelchair, this comes from moving your different push rims at different speeds or in different directions. First, you'll want to get up in your wheelie just as you have before. Then, if you want to turn in place, you're going to push forward on one while pulling on the other. This causes you to turn towards the one that you're pulling. You can also just hold one still, as I'm doing now, just holding my left hand still and pushing forward with my right is another way to turn. This can be a little tricky, so again, keep your spotter with you when you're practicing, but it's another good way to practice your wheelie and get more comfortable in that position. While the foundational wheelie pop-up can be very useful in itself, there's a range of skills that you may want to practice within the wheelie pop-up maneuver that will help you as you advance your wheelie skills to doing curbs and other things. First of all, if you're struggling with the wheelie pop-up, slowing down your rolling forward before you do it can help you. It's a little easier to pop up into your wheelie when you're going at a slower pace. However, you may want to also practice to see if you can get your wheelie pop-up on a faster pace, because this might be helpful if you are rolling down the sidewalk going pretty fast and an unexpected obstacle, like a sidewalk crack that you didn't see earlier, pops up and you still need to get over it. And that is a safety thing that the wheelie pop-up can help with. However, you also want to think about how high you can get your caster wheels in your wheelie pop-up. This is important for when you move on to practicing going up curbs, because you will have to get your caster wheels pretty high to get up an average 6-inch curb. Thus, you may, even if you can do it at a faster speed, want to slow down and practice to see how high you can get your caster wheels. It may be helpful to have somebody video you from the side, or even set up a mirror by where you're practicing so you can kind of see how high you're going and how different adjustments affect how high you're able to do your pop-up. Again, I want to remind you that this is a different type of skill, so even if you've practiced a stationary wheelie and feel confident in it, you may want to have a spotter with you, especially when you're first attempting it, to make sure that you stay safe.